Hey, I'm back. I'm here. I'm present. I'm a lot of things right now, but largely, I'm bored. So while I sit here waiting for my hair to dry, I thought, you know what? Might as well do something on the channel. I mean, yeah, I know it's not live or anything. It's all gonna be pre-recorded, but yeah, I just thought I'd do a little something different tonight. And well, I figured, a little Q&A would be a good change of pace. Unfortunately, I don't have anything from like user submissions or anything, so I had to ask an AI to generate some random questions for me. But yeah, I'm just gonna go over a few things here and see what sticks, see what doesn't, and hope for the best. So, I mean, it starts off pretty simple. Just asking, what inspired you to start your YouTube channel? God, there is. God, I wish this cat would fucking stop dashing around all the fucking time. God, you just. I wish she would just sit the fuck down. Just sit down. Relax for 5 fucking seconds, would ya? God, fucking damn it. Anyway, what inspired me to start to begin with? I mean, we're going back over a decade here. Um, Back in what was it, about 2011, maybe 2012, somewhere in that range. Um, I actually wanted to do game reviews. Um, at the time, I actually had a computer that was capable of handling shit like that. Um, Granted, I didn't have much in the line of money for software, so I had to work with what I had. Um, Initially, what I started off with there was it was a review, retrospective on Final Fantasy IX. Of all games I was playing at the time, I thought I'd just go ahead and do some game capture footage off my PS3. And I spent probably a good week putting that shit together. I was splicing footage together and everything, had the commentary all recorded, and I had everything ready to go. But Windows Movie Maker was the program I was using, because, like I said, I didn't have the money for anything good at the time. Um, but yeah, when I went to actually finalize the the video, it would get to about 95, 96%, and then it just error out. So I realized, okay, I just wasted a week of my free time putting this fucking thing together for no payoff, and I got really disheartened about it and just shelved the whole idea for a while and just never went back to it. I did a couple years later toy with the idea of trying again, with a PS2 retrospective, when Sony announced that they were fully discontinuing the PS2. I think that was like 2013. I had a script all written out, but I didn't have any footage recorded, so I couldn't really do anything there. Um, and then life just got in the way, and I just forgot all about it. So the channel just sat there unused for several years. I would occasionally upload to post life updates for my family. At the time, I was living down near the Madison area, whereas my family, the closest ones were actually in Iowa at the time. And parents, they were up in a little burg called Hayward. Um, so I would just upload private links for them to to check out from time to time. And that was really all I used the channel for a couple of years. Um, but it was around, what was it, 2017 when I bought my PS4. So I got that and found that oh, it had the built-in capture option. You know, crude as it was, it gave me an avenue into uploading gameplay footage, which is what really got me into starting this whole channel up again. At the time, I was doing a lot of Shadow of War, where I was taking encounters with captains. I did, however, take one night, just one solid night, and I actually had this one encounter that turned into this whole saga. And I just happened to be capturing footage at every time I would encounter this captain, and I turned it into my first full-length video. It's still on there. It's still on the channel. I forgot what I called it now. Let me just look that up real quick. It was something about I want to say like Osteru. Let's just come on, get out of the way. Let's see my channel. Where is? What the fuck is it doing? Other than going totally ballistic. Let's see my playlists. Let's see, Shadow of War randomness. It was called. It was the tale of Osteru the Destroyer. It wound up being a 34-minute video that I did. I put a lot of care into that, and a lot of it was just me getting a feel for Share Factory, but a lot of it was also just me getting lucky, and I was recording at just the right times. But I was never really confident enough to do much in the line of live streaming, and full gameplay uploads, so like Let's Plays and all that takes a lot of memory off your hard drive. So I really didn't do a whole lot as far as full gameplay went, but I did do a couple of Mega Man X and X2 runs. I think in total I wound up with I'm not sure if it was 2 or 3 of the first Mega Man X, and then I did one that actually had to be a 2-parter of X2. The Share Factory only lets you do up to a full hour of footage at a time, and the video wound up being an hour and a half in total with everything. But yeah, that was pretty much all that I had for live streams. I guess I also did the Disgaea 1 complete. I did like the first half hour or so, but I just fell off on that one because I guess Disgaea really isn't the type of game that live stream works well for, just because it is so grindy. It doesn't really hook you and keep you engaged or anything. But let's see, moving ahead in time, I wound up uploading a bunch of clips of my fluffball there. I don't know if the playlist is private or public at this point, but anyway, again, it was just hit or miss, spotty, little clips of maybe 2 or 3 minutes at most for a couple of years. And in 2020, I did my first and thus far only full Let's Play of it was Kingdoms of Amalur: Re-Reckoning. And I could probably cut the entire playtime in half if I could have solved the issue with the load times. God, those things were atrocious. It loaded on PS3 faster than the PS4. Still, it was a great game. I had a lot of fun with it. But at the end of the day, it was 86 uploads that I did on that one. Or was it more than that? I don't remember. It was a lot. In the summer of 2020, amidst the pandemic shutdown and everything, I was unemployed, had a lot of time on my hands at the time, and I knew the game pretty well from memory, so I went ahead with it. Just built the character that I was comfortable with, and just went to town. And since then, I would just do the occasional upload of just random gameplay snippets until the beginning of last year, when this whole update thing began with my in front of the camera shit. And now I've got kind of an identity crisis going on with this whole thing. On the one hand, I want the channel to be a gaming channel, Let's Plays, and random gameplay footage, or just things I find interesting. But on the other hand, I want it to also be a channel about following my journey as I deal with this transition, and working on my vocal training, and just trying to get something that that works in my ability to verbally communicate, which admittedly is severely lacking. Unfortunately, I'm kind of running into a roadblock there because I just cannot do the vocal stuff. Even though on a personal level that's a lot more important to me. But I do also want to keep going with the gameplay stuff. And I know there's some overlap between the two audiences, but not really. So I don't know. I toy a lot with the idea of splitting off one of these concepts onto another channel and just starting that over again. And it would probably make more sense to take these vocal updates and go over there to a different channel, just because the handle, my online game stuff is all under the name Truthless86, and I guess it would make more sense to keep that as is, than to try to rebrand that. But on the other hand, apart from the Dragon's Dogma stuff from last week, I don't really get a lot of hits on my gameplay stuff. So it's like, well, what do I do? So yeah, as far as what inspired me to do the channel, it was just me wanting to share gameplay, video game stuff initially, and then just kind of evolved into also wanting to share my journey through transition, as well as have a place to bitch about stuff, because, well, I'm not exactly a half class full kind of person, Yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at right now with that. Let's see, next question we want to look at here is, I'm just going down with the questions here. It posts a bunch of random stuff. How did you get into your niche/interest? Well, there's a whole thing there with gaming. I mean, I've been a Vidiot since I was maybe 5 years old. Yeah, playing on the Atari 2600, Mario Brothers. Believe it or not, Nintendo games were on Atari consoles before the NES came out. So I've been gaming since I was about yay high, and yeah, I just never stopped. Let's see, where are you from originally? Originally, I came from the Twin Cities, which for those who don't know it, that would be the Minneapolis, St. Paul area in Minnesota. Um, I lived there until I was about 9 years old. Early 90s, parents decided that they needed a change. I don't know what the factors were to facilitate that desire for change, but they decided to move us to someplace in bumfuck nowhere, where I endured for the next 9 years. So yeah, originally from St. Paul. So you have an educational background. Just high school graduate, class of 2000. Nothing special. I think I graduated 17th in my class, about like 75, 78 kids. We had a lot of dropouts too, so it might have been a higher overall total. But yeah, I was 17th in my class. Not spectacular, but not horrible. I never went to college because of a combination of things. Lack of clear direction in what I want to do with life. Um, didn't want to go into debt for something that I wasn't guaranteed to want to do, and a couple other things with the living arrangements. Let's see, content creation, and let's see. Again, I'm just going down this list of ideas here. What's your content creation process like? It is so incredibly elementary and crude, and I should be embarrassed by it, but I take my camera on my phone, and I have the front-facing camera on right now. I throw on a light. I actually have a dedicated light now that sits behind the camera, and it's got a holder for it on a tripod. Hit record, and I talk until I'm done. Then when that's done, I just open YouTube and upload. Hammer a quick description of it and call it good. How do you come up with video ideas? Literally, it's just whatever I decide to talk about as it comes into my mind. That's literally all it is. Sometimes I'll have a topic in mind from I'm at work or whatever, but usually it's just I'm sitting here. What was I doing today or yesterday? So there's really not much planning goes into it. Let's see, what equipment software do you use? I use my my fucking Android camera phone thing and stuff. That's literally all I use. I use whatever camera software is built into my phone plus YouTube app. That's it. How long does it take to edit a video for me? As long as it takes to hit upload. I don't edit, as you can probably tell. What's the most challenging part of creating content? Having a topic to talk about. Interest / opinions. What's your favorite book / movie taste? Yeah, okay, that's too open-ended. I would just prattle on forever on that one. Shit. If you could collaborate with anyone, who would it be? I mean, if we're talking about just general collaboration on anything at all, at this point in my life, I'm thinking if I could, I would have chosen someone like Ariel Bloomer and Sean Jump, the talent behind Icon for Hire, just because they're so easy to get along with. What's the most important issue to you right now? Well, at the risk of sounding like a broken record, to me the most important issue is safeguarding my rights as a transgender individual. Just because there is so much heat on us as a community, thanks to the Republican Party. It's to the point where I don't know if I'm going to have the same rights that I have currently going into next year. Let's see. What's something you're passionate about? What's on your niche? Not much. Oh, and like I said, I was doing all this through AI. So, and AI picked up on my Icon for Hire fandom. Um, how did you discover Icon for Hire? Yeah, they showed up on a sampler MP3 download through Tooth and Nail Records back in 2011. I think it was Make a Move that was on there. Like the sound, listen to it over and over again. Found the album, and yeah, and that's how I discovered them. How I became a fan initially. Favorite song, album, and why? We're gonna have to go with the song "Demons" off their "You Can't Kill Us" album, because that song basically saved me from a not exactly didn't exactly save my life, in so many words, but it did pull me back out of a pit of despair and depression 2 years ago. And without that, I don't know if I would have recovered for quite some time. So there's that. Have you met the band? What was that like? Yeah, I met them a few times. They are, like I said before, they're two of the most chill, easygoing, agreeable, friendly people you'll ever meet. They're just, they're just the embodiment of of awesome personalities and good, just good people overall. Let's see. Let's see your interactive. Just going down the list here for other stuff now. What's the craziest thing you've ever done? I married a Canadian. No, I've never been much of a risk taker, so I don't really have stories about things I've done. I mean, as far as from a logic standpoint, craziest thing I've ever done might have been when I went completely ballistic on a teacher during my senior year of high school. There was talk afterwards about they had been considering calling in the local law enforcement to have me arrested because I was completely off the rails on this one. But yeah, I mean, overall, I really haven't done a whole lot that's crazy or really memorable in that regard. Let's see. Just look for more questions here. What's your self-care routine? I ain't got one. I take my days off and I will sit myself down in my recliner downstairs and play video games until I pass out, then wake up, play some more, pass out again, rinse and repeat until I go back to work. That's my self-care. Let's see. Fun, lighthearted. If you could travel anywhere, where would you go? There's been a lot of years I spent thinking that I would love to go to Italy, just to take in their culture and sample the food, of course. But lately I've been thinking more that I'd probably want to go and see at least parts of Japan. I know I've been consuming a lot of Japanese media lately, and the glimpses I get of their culture, has been coming out to be more appealing as time goes by, and more intriguing. It's like I'd like to see it firsthand at some point. I guess the part that scares me about maybe doing that is the language barrier. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of tools out there to help with that, but I'm not good with picking up on, on vocal cues, and my pronunciations are terrible. Um, so I would still need to have somebody with me, basically at all times, to help translate. Because I learned firsthand that when I'm in a foreign country that speaks a language I don't know, I I'm very much a fish out of water, and I don't do well. Sorry, I guess that's better. I had a sneeze brewing for a long time there. Um, and yeah, that whole thing kind of it it gnaws at my mind. But if I could get over that language barrier hurdle, I would very much like to visit Japan and just take in some of that culture that it doesn't make lot of sense to me in a lot of ways, but it's so intriguing at the same time. It's like, I would like to see it all firsthand, so I could better understand how it works and how it all ties into the day to day lives. So, let's see. Next up, favorite food and drink. Well, at the risk of sounding like a totally immature 17-year-old, my favorite food and drink combination is pizza and Mountain Dew. And I've been that way since I was a kid. And why mess with the other good thing? Let's see. Let's see. More about that. If you could create content with any medium, film, book, game, what would it be? Well, I'm trying to create content in a book form right now. It's slow going, but I suppose that if I had the knowledge and the skill to do it, I would do a video game. But let's be honest, I don't have the skill. I never will have the skill. So I know my limits. Let's see. Would you rather answer questions or ask them? I'd much rather answer them. I'm not good with coming up with questions. Let's see. And that's all I got off the AI for now. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like doing something a little different today. I just wanted to throw some questions out there and answer them. Just see what happened. My hair is it's starting to dry. It's not as wet as it was when I first started this, so yay for that. I have an appointment set up with a salon in a couple weeks to get the hair color refreshed, and maybe get a little trim. Honestly, I want to do something different with this. I'm thinking maybe bangs possibly, but I don't know how good that would look. But I gotta do something. I just don't know what yet. Oh my god, I had something, now I've lost it again. You know, this is the hard part. I spent all the time just poring over those questions and answering them, and now I'm out of material. And what do I have here as far as time? Are we really only at 30 minutes now? Doing better than I expected. Kind of don't want to wrap it up just yet, but I think I need a breather before I resume. Gosh, let's see that again. Good pause. Yeah, let's give you a second to pause here. Okay, well, I guess that worked. So, I guess I'll turn the question over to anybody who's listening still, if there is anyone. What would you have me do with my hair? I mean, if you could choose a style for me to try, what would you choose? I mean, I've kept my hair quite long ever since I was old enough to live on my own and grow it out. So, I mean, this is actually quite a bit shorter than I used to have it. Yeah, back about 10 years ago, it was actually long enough that I could have it down to my butt. I was actually in a position where if I was trying to get up, or I was sitting down or whatever, I actually would oftentimes have a thumbful of hair whenever I try to push off. God damn, would that hurt. But yeah, I just, as time went on, I became more confident, especially after I came out and started to embrace this, this identity that I've got now. And over time, I just started chopping it off a bit more at a time. I mean, I've still kept it long the entire time since then, but I've had not much past shoulder length in recent memory. So I just don't know. I've never actually been, I hate to say trained. I just never really learned how to properly style my hair. That's why I've always gone with these simple, just ponytails and just let it fall as it may. And, well, I just never had anyone to teach me how to do it otherwise. I mean, I did at one point try braiding it for a few days, and I was okay. I was decent at it, but it felt like so much work, and I stopped doing it. And I kind of fell out of practice on it, so hard to say if I could ever go back to it. And at the time when I was doing that, it was in response to a job that I had. Their whole thing was, it was a food place, like food distribution company, and one of the things in their employee handbook was no long hair could be visible. So the thought that I had at that, or actually it was a suggestion from Mom of all people, believe it or not, Miss 1950s herself. Yeah, she actually suggested that I try braiding it and just tuck it in the back of my shirt. And I worked at that place for one day, and then I quit the next night or the next morning because I just hated the environment there. But I kept going with the braids for a couple of days there. It worked out okay, except for the part where I would inevitably have frizzies pop out. That was always irritating. Sorry, just try not to show my underwear. But yeah, And I've got the color in mind what I'm gonna do. Although I've been wondering if maybe I should try something different in that regard too. I've been thinking maybe possibly doing like a pink tint instead of a purple tint next time. And I don't know. I was feeling adventurous when I came up with that thought. And I don't know. Does it hold any merit? Does it sound like a totally ridiculous, stupid idea? I don't know. But again, what does the audience think? Anyway, I really am out of ideas for what to talk about right now. Scratch that, I do have one other thing. I'm thinking of doing something, especially with the month of October coming up here. I have a thought that I want to start off in October with some Halloween themed games, or at least horror themed games. I'm thinking I want to do a segment that I'm thinking of just calling uh, Midnight with Mila. Um, I'm thinking I might just do some live streaming starting at midnight. Not sure I'll do Thursday night or Friday night, but I'll do that for a couple hours every week. I'm thinking with it being October, I'm gonna try some horror themed games or horror adjacent themed games. And for this time around, I'm thinking I might just try it with the Death End Request series to begin with, because those games have a lot of gruesome endings, and the second game especially has like a whole horror theme going through it throughout the entire game, because most of your combat takes place at night in a haunted village after midnight when all the monsters come out. So it would thematically fit October. And it's been a while since I played the other games. I just thought might be a good way to get warmed back up and maybe just test the waters a little bit. Yeah, maybe I got something there, maybe I don't. Who can say? Anyway, I'm just kicking an idea around. Probably won't do it this week because it's what time is it now? Yeah, it's 11:30 on Thursday night, so probably not. I'm not made up well enough to do it. My hair's still all wet and shit, and I'm not really the right headspace for it right now anyway. So maybe next week. I don't know when we're actually in October. But anyway, I'm going to get off of here now, and I will let you get back to the end of your week, and we'll talk to you later.